Well, it's Friday, but Sunday's coming. You need to understand that the life of Jesus really took place Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is Passion Week. Things have happened. They ate their supper. They had the body and the blood. Judas has already betrayed him before that and run out and killed himself. And now he's gone to a kangaroo court all night with the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the Zealots, and they're all chomping at the bit to kill Jesus. They brought in all the people to tell the lies about Jesus. And now the suspense is here because everything starts happening when they take him to Pilate and it becomes legal, really legal. The Roman government takes over. And what happens is this. First thing they do is, John chapter 19 says, and they scourged him. Pilate had to scourge him. Now, what does that mean? See, we read through that so fast. And we read through Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and we talk about how they flogged him or they beat him. What does that mean? Well, it's real simple. They had weapons of flogging. They used goat getters. That's what city people call it. They would gouge you with a goat. They would plunge these into your head and your body, and they would pull you back. And then they would say, who slapped you on your face or who beat you? And they've got the little fungo bats that we used to hit pop-ups with. And they would take Jesus and pop him in the head or beat him in the leg. Of course, they never broke a bone. Isn't that amazing? But then the final thing is where they take and strap Jesus to a board. And when they take him to a board, they bring in a specialist, a cat of nine tails, as we call it. Ow, I just cut myself. Because I've got a real one here. One of my buddies down in Bladenboro, North Carolina, Buddy White, made this for me. And when they took the body of Jesus and they flogged him, after they had beaten him, after they've hit him, they've slapped him, they've spit on him, then they take his back and they began to beat him, unconscious almost, and they beat him, and they beat him, and they beat him, and they beat him 19 times, and then they not only beat him, they rip his shed blood, and they rip the skin off his back so that you can see inside his body. They beat him, and they beat him, and they beat him, and they beat him. No wonder he couldn't carry the cross. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was that he couldn't carry the cross because he was carrying my sin. He was carrying your sin to the cross. And when he died on the cross, remember what he said? 7 things, but one thing I remember. It is finished. Here's a replica. My buddy Marshall gave me a replica of a real cross, a real nail. And they took it through his wrist, and they took it through his ankles, and they nailed him to the cross. But he said, it is finished. Everything I did it for you. He did it for me so that my sins could be forgiven. His body, his blood on the cross for you and me. Guess what? The great news is he's coming back one day. And you can go with him. You don't have to worry about it because this life is not our home. You are getting ready for eternity. One way or another, you're going to go somewhere. You're going to spend your life with Jesus, or you're going to spend your life alone without Jesus or without anybody else. Listen to me. Listen to me. Please listen to me. Hell is not a place for partying or partiers. Hell is a lonely place. You think it's lonely here? It's going to be lonely there. It's going to be dark there. It's going to be painful there. But the most pain is when you cannot hear anybody or see anybody or talk to anybody and you're in complete darkness. Please, please, please listen to me. It's Friday. You might be in pain today. Sunday's coming. For by grace you are saved through faith. Grace is God reaching down to you. That's what he did on the cross. Faith is simply this: you reaching up to him. What does that mean? Everybody has faith. You believe in somebody. And if you put your faith in Jesus and just say, I surrender, I give up, his grace will reach down and meet your faith, and you will become a believer. Oh, man, there's no better time to come to Jesus. My wife, Debbie, came to Jesus at Easter. I wouldn't. I was too stubborn. But let me tell you, there's no greater time than today to say, Lord Jesus, forgive me, cleanse me, come into my life and take over. Thank you for what you did on the cross. And now, I come to you. I receive you. I want you to come into my life and change me to be just like you. Let me just tell you, it's Friday, but Sunday